Thanks, Cathaoirleach, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to come in. Look, Cathaoirleach, I think it's very clear that there is a huge human impact in relation to this, both in terms of homeowners and in terms of farmers and agricultural practice, and we've heard that in the evidence here today. I just want to pick up on the end of the presentation that Geraldine gave here and the comment that Lawrence made, and that was at the end of our presentation on our very last slide, the photograph in the top right-hand corner. If you actually look at the gable of the house, you'll actually see the biodiversity impact of this in terms of what used to be trees at the back of that particular house. The biodiversity in that area has been completely wiped out as a result of this, and what the community are looking for is that the Turlough will go back to its normal natural winter flood level, nothing more, nothing less in relation to that. So the big question is, Cathaoirleach, where do we go from here? And we do need to see action on foot of this presentation here. Now, Roscommon County Council set out last May very clearly what the situation was, what the steps that needed to be taken in relation to that. They wrote directly to Minister O'Donovan, who has taken this matter up with the Department of Housing, because he has stated that many of the policy and legislative matters are the responsibility of the Department of Housing and local government. Now, earlier this month I took this issue up through parliamentary question with Minister O'Donovan. He said he's still waiting for engagement back from the Department of Housing and Local Government in relation to it. And on the 13th of October, Minister of State Noonan came back saying that they were liaising with the Office of Public Works, but that there was no question of legislative change. That did not arise in relation to it. So we're back to this game of tennis again, Cathaoirleach. OPW are referring it to the Department of Housing and Heritage. Heritage are referring it back to OPW. In the meantime, the water is getting closer and closer and closer to the families and farms involved here. So we need to progress this and move it on. Now, Deputy Fitzmaurice, myself and 5 other colleagues have signed a cross-party motion. We've laid it before the House, looking for the establishment of a cross-departmental, cross-agency task force to address the emergency climate adaptation measures to protect homes across this country. Because yes, it's this community today, but we've already seen last week in relation to Galway, in relation to Cork, in relation to locations here in Dublin, this is going to someone else's door again, and we need to get ahead of it. Now, in fairness to Taoiseach, today in the House, when I put this specific proposal to him, he committed to examine it, to engage with the government ministers in relation to it, and I think what we need now is a recommendation from this committee to establish a national task force to take on this role and to set as its first item on the agenda using the community around Lough Fuinchina as the test case in relation to this, and that the progress that we make in relation to this can then be replicated in every other community around the country. So I'm asking that the committee would take on board motion 152 on the Dáil order paper, that the committee would adopt that and would lay it before both houses, and both houses can then progress it through engagement with both ministers, because unless we have a coordinated approach in relation to this, we're going to be passing this issue back and forth, as has been the case up to now. And I hope I can get a seconder and the support of the committee for that here today. Thank you, Cathaoirleach.
Okay. Have my secretary taken note of that? You have.
I'll forward on the wording to the Secretariat.